What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 107 MMA channel. I saw this story. I had to make a video about it right away. I haven't even read the article yet, but we're going to get into it and read everything right now. Apparently, but I saw this post on Instagram as well. I followed up here. Wasn't sure exactly what it meant for sure per se, but MMA Fighting on SB Nation released this article, so I'm inclined to believe it. Apparently, Nate Diaz has accepted Jake Paul's offer for a fight. Now, this fight is coming up again, just to give you guys a recap. It's coming up, I believe, in December on Netflix. It's a huge event. Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tank Davis. I think a lot of people were going to tune in. And it was interesting, even though there was a big weight differential, there was also a big boxing skill gap. At least that was, I think, public perception, anyways, between Tank Davis and Jake Paul. So it was an interesting fight. Some, obviously, the critics of Jake Paul were saying, "Oh, you're taking somebody so much smaller than you. What is this?" But I was intrigued. I mean, we remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Logan Paul. Floyd won, definitely won. Logan maybe had his moments and he was able to smother him, but Floyd still won that. So the better boxer, substantially better boxer in that case, won the fight. This was also still compelling because if Jake Paul were to have beaten Tank Davis, I think it still would have said something about where his skill level is despite the size difference. Anyways, but I digress. That fight got called off. Tank got into some hot water with some domestic violence issues. Jake Paul has lambasted him publicly and said, we don't want anything to do with him. I'm still wondering why they even invite him in the first place. So it doesn't totally add up, but it is what it is. Anyways, that fight is done. I was so excited yesterday, and I made a video about the possibility of Jake Paul fighting Francis Ngannou. That would have been absolutely perfect. A former huge MMA guy that everybody knows. It would have been a huge task for Jake Paul because he would have been 30 or 40 pounds heavier than Jake Paul. So from fighting the smaller guy to the bigger guy, obviously way less skilled as a boxer, but it would have been really, really cool. And there would have been the knockout component. Francis could knock him out at any time. People would have been on the edge of their seats. Oh, didn't happen. And I think it's because of Francis. I think Francis didn't want to take that risk of getting knocked out and getting humiliated by Jake Paul because I think it would have ended his career. So unfortunately, even though there was an interesting back and forth on Twitter, it didn't happen. Now we get to the main point. Nate Diaz apparently has accepted this fight. I want to talk about this in particular because guess what? When Jake Paul boxed Nate Diaz the first time in Texas, I was there. I was there with Jesse on Fire. We went with a big group. One of my buddies from Michigan came with me as well. It was such a fun event. I actually had a blast. We're all, if you're an MMA fan, you're a Nate Diaz fan. So we're all Nate Diaz fans. Everybody was going crazy. The crowd was cheering so loudly for Nate Diaz. It was really fun. I did enjoy it. But to see it again, especially, I'm sure Jake Paul's improved leaps and bounds in boxing since their last fight. It's been several years. He's done some cool things in boxing. I find it hard to believe that Nate has grown as much. It even anywhere close to as much as Jake Paul has trained. I did hear that Nate claimed that he barely trained for Jake Paul. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe he'll have a better showing, but I just think it's going to go the same way. I think Jake Paul's going to be dominant in this matchup and might even knock Nate Diaz out this time. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, let's go through the article and let's see exactly what's going on. So Nate Diaz announces he's accepted the Jake Paul rematch. It says on Tuesday, he sent out this. So this is the Instagram post that I saw this morning. I guess it came out last night. And this is back in August 2023. So a little over 2 years ago. Again, as I mentioned, I was at this fight and it was super fun. He said, fight accepted, you're dead. This is what I saw. So Paul's most valuable promotion is yet to make an official announcement for the collapse of the November 4th. Oh, sorry, it's in November, not December. November 14th matchup with Tank Davis, who has a history of domestic violence. And he says he's an actual walking human piece of garbage. Again, this isn't a total surprise. Like, they knew that he had a history of this prior to making the fight. So why are you going at him now? It seems a little bit of a PR move, but it is what it is. So, yeah, they're scrambling. They're trying to get this going. They don't have a lot of choices. It's a very tight timeline. I thought it was in December. If it's November 14th, they have a week and change. So they got to get this happening with somebody who's ready to go. And we go down. Yeah, so that's the gist of the article. Like I said, I saw it on Nate Diaz's Instagram. Makes me think there's something to it. These guys were reporting on it. Again, are they just reporting on the Instagram post or have they also reached out to sources? I don't know. But this could be happening. So my reaction is the first fight was fun. I'm way less interested in this fight. I hate to say it, even though I'm a huge Nate Diaz fan, I just don't see how it's going to go any different in terms of Nate Diaz having a better showing. If anything, I think it's going to go way worse. I don't want to see Nate Diaz get knocked out. I think there's a huge chance that that can happen. I think that there's going to be a much larger skill gap. I think the interesting fight would have been by far Jake Paul against Francis Ngannou, because even Daniel Cormier, even Michael Bisping, all these guys said, man, if Jake actually took this fight, if it's not a publicity stunt, which I don't think it was, we would give him respect. This is crazy. And that's exactly, I think, and not like Jake Paul cares, but I think that's exactly the right formula for people to be, for what you want people to be saying, for you to build intrigue and to build excitement. In this case, if you saw the first fight and you've seen what Jake has been doing, I just think the intrigue is not there. I'll probably tune into, I don't even know. I might not even tune in. I might be, it depends on what I'm doing that night. I'm not super interested in this rematch. If I'm not doing anything, I might join in, but I feel like I can say with 95% certainty Jake Paul's going to win, and with like a 60% certainty, I think Jake Paul's going to get a TKO or a KO. I really do think so. I just think he's got had superior boxing before, and I think he's gotten better. So anyways, that's what it is. It's not what I was hoping for. But I think Francis made his mind up. He just does not want to take the fight. I get why he doesn't want to take the fight. Oh, but it'd be so perfect if he would have done it. It is what it is. Sometimes the gods of combat sports don't give you what you want. They give you what you need, perhaps. And maybe that's what's going on here. So anyways, we shall see how this goes down. But that's all I got for you in this quick video. Just want to give you guys an update, my reaction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you actually excited to see the rematch more so than Tank Davis, more so than Francis Ngannou, or are you with me that this is just not compelling, unfortunately? But again, it's a triage situation. I get what they're doing. They got to find an opponent. The date has been set. They got to get something in there as a placeholder, so choices are limited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.